And we are back for another episode of Unleash Your Dream Kitchen. Michelle, how are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be talking a bit more about kitchens.
I mean, there's so much going on with kitchens right now. I feel like everything is hitting the scene all at once. In the last episode, we talked about some incredible things that are happening with kitchens. Today, we're talking about wood grains are coming back, two-tone kitchens are coming back, and these are some trends that you've seen before that are coming back in a big way, aren't they, Michelle?
Oh, absolutely. And, kitchens are always so fascinating because there are so many parameters. And any but one of you who's actually designed a kitchen before or, done a new kitchen knows how much minute detail goes into choosing in a kitchen. And that's why we're kind of breaking this up. But one of the big trends that I see moving forward in kitchens is, yes, we are going back to wood and to wood grains. And I know that scares a lot of people. It's always scary when we revisit a trend. And I got to tell you, the 80s garb that, the younger generation is wearing right now is the ugliest thing I've ever seen, I think, because I've been through it before and I don't know why they would want to wear those outfits again. But anyways, they love it. And it's usually always done in a new way. And the same thing happens in interiors, right? Like every time that we re-envision a trend that's come around again, it's always done in a newer, more interesting way. So I urge you not to be scared of wood. It really is a beautiful new way to update your kitchen.
Yeah, so what I find fascinating about how it's coming back this time, you and I were chatting about this, when you say wood grains in a kitchen, I can tell you the pictures that come to my mind is not the stuff that I know you're designing,
Right.
Michelle. As an incredible registered interior designer with Georgian renovations, you guys are doing stuff where there's a way to integrate wood grain into a kitchen design without kind of fully committing to everything being wood. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, and wood still does scare people a little bit. They're like, oh, I don't want it dark. I don't want, but what we're doing a lot right now with our designs is we're doing a lot of paint and wood finishes together. And I'm finding it's sort of that tiptoe into the trend before people, and on top of that, it looks absolutely beautiful. One of the woods we're using a lot right now is walnut. And that's because walnut has such a beautiful grain. It has such a beautiful color that you don't have to stain it. It's almost like a minky sort of soft grayed out brown, and it really lends itself to all of the colors that we're working with right now. And you can get it in different cuts too, so you can get it with lots of grain in it, you can get it with linear grain. You really can use it very well. And the way that we're doing a lot of kitchens right now is for those clients who don't want to jump fully into the wood, and wood can be a little oppressive, is we are doing, how I talked about before about how cabinets are really, the trend now is to make kitchen cabinets be more like furniture and less like your typical kitchen cabinets. So we're doing things where we're doing beautiful frames like around your fridges and your cabinetry, and really pulling things out. And that's what we're doing in the two tones. So some of it might be in the wood, some of it might be in the painted. Doing your island a different color is another great way to pull in. We did a lot of two-tone painted island, where an island would be painted one color, the cabinets on the perimeter would be painted another color. Now we're going back again, bringing in that wood. But again, it's never in the same way. I know everybody sees wood and they think of those horrible wood oak kitchens from 15, 20 years ago, the ones that also had the curved top to them. Everybody sort of sees it like that. But even oak, unfortunately got a bad name from the horrible orangey, yellowy color that it used to be. Now, like a beautiful rift cut white oak is incredibly elegant and incredibly sophisticated.
Now, Michelle, let me ask you this. Is it technology that is driving these changes? There's so many technology and materials. There's technology in man-made materials. There's technology that's being created in terms of how to cut different woods. What is driving these changes? Why wasn't white oak, this example you just gave us, why wasn't that popular 20 years ago? Did we have the technology to pull that off?
Well, people like the color oak was back in that day. It's just our eyes kind of change, and we never really want to revisit a trend the same way that we saw it before. We always want that new tournament. Absolutely new finishes and new coatings that you can put on things, change it. A lot of the old varnishes and coats that you would put on things used to yellow over time, so that would change color. But it's really just putting uh, a different spin on a material. I always say that I really try to say never to say that I hate something, because there's usually a way of making it beautiful. And if we're always looking ahead and finding these exciting finishes and the way that we pull them together, it's always going to be beautiful.
So let's wrap up by talking about you talked about two-tone kitchens. Right now it sounds like that's happening. People are incorporating wood grain into their kitchens. You talked about different colors. Maybe your island is a certain color. How else are people implementing the concept of a two-tone kitchen?
Well, like I said, the framework around the cabinetry to make it look a bit more like furniture is something that I love doing. I find creates a very sophisticated space. Sometimes our lower cabinets are different colors than our upper cabinets. You'll also notice there's a lot of places where your upper cabinets are disappearing altogether, but that's another topic for another day that we can go through. But there's really no one right way to do it. Nowadays we tend to really like it. Our new homes are kind of being built where the kitchen and the family room are sort of open to each other. So that's another way when we're designing those types of homes, is that you've got your family room built-ins and your kitchen built-ins, and we're trying to integrate them together. So that's a good way to pull in these different tones as well. Maybe that bring in wood grain in one of the spaces.
Beautiful. Well, Michelle, thank you so much again for your time on another episode of Unleash Your Dream Kitchen. And folks, if you're watching this and you want to get some thoughts on this, I urge you to join our waiting list for a design consultation. Rick and/or Karen, our design build consultants, will be in touch with you. Click the link included in this description and get yourself on the waiting list. We get 2,000 plus requests per year, but join the waiting list and get involved. Michelle, thanks so much for taking the time. I appreciate it very much.